coming to you live from Barcelona. Again, just continuing my series on I'm Paying It Forward, which was very much inspired by a dear family friend that passed away a few weeks ago and who was very instrumental in me being able to do the work that I'm doing here today, to be of service in this world. And so really it's just an opportunity for me to really just pull back the curtain and share some wellness tips, some lifestyle hacks, and answer any questions that you may have about some of the topics that are very personal, that a lot of us are going through in our life, and really just an opportunity for me to help you in your journey. So I'll just give it a few minutes here just to give people a chance to come online. I'm doing it a little different this week at 4 p.m. Central Eastern Time, as I am taking a workshop this evening. They always say the best students make the best teachers, so I am always a student of life and always continuing my education. So that's why we're doing it differently this week at 4 p.m. Central Eastern Time. Hi, Francis. So yes, if you've joined us live online, just feel free to say hi. Just type in the comments below where you are joining us from, and just send me some thumbs up, some likes, or some hearts, just so I know that you can hear me and see me okay. And again, we'll just wait a few more minutes. So I hope you guys are all enjoying the beautiful impending spring season that's just upon us, that's coming to us on Monday, May 20th, or depending where you are in the world. It's just really a beautiful time of year that with the spring season, that it's just a time to really welcome in the beautiful sun, this new light as our days get longer, bringing in this new energy into your life and welcoming all the new opportunities and abundance that's coming to you during this time of year. So last week I shared about how to stay calm and carry on, and today we'll be talking about how to lean into your fear, into your faith, and live a fulfilling life. So if any of you have questions that you've come to as I'm here broadcasting live, or as I'm sharing on the live feed this afternoon, feel free to type them in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to address them as I am broadcasting. So again, if you're joining us, feel free to, hi Patricia, if you've just joined us, to say hi and type in where you're broadcasting, or where you're from, and make sure to send me some thumbs up and hearts just so I know that you can hear and see me okay. There's a bit of construction work going on downstairs, so I'm just hoping that you'll be able to hear me and see me okay. So again, so today I will be sharing about how to lean into your fear, your faith, and really to live a fulfilling life. Last week we were talking about stress, how to stay calm, how to carry on. And as we all know, no matter where you are in the world, whether you're a parent, whether you're married, not married, in a relationship, have children, we all have stress. And just like we all have stress, we all have fear. Fear is absolutely normal. This is something that is very near and dear to my heart because, as some of you may or may not know, I've done a lot of big changes in my life. Over 10 years ago, I moved from Los Angeles to London, and then again, I moved my life from London to Barcelona. And so I just wanted to use this opportunity to share with you, what were some of the tools and tips and mindset that helped me to make those decisions during those challenging times, and really step into my fear and step out of my comfort zone so that I can start living a life that I love. So hopefully today during this broadcast that will help you, and if you have any questions, feel free to type them into the comments box below. So again, just as I was sharing, fear is absolutely normal, but it's really about when when we allow the fear to hold us back in our life, or do we allow it to push us forward, to push us out of our normal limits into a space and a place where we can really start to experience life in a more full way. So it's really about shifting our mindset, shifting the perspective about, what am I truly capable of? What am I able to do, to feel, and to achieve in my life that is different than what I'm experiencing and doing now? And what I've experienced personally and working with many of my clients in coaching is that fear is absolutely essential. It's really, this experience, this emotional state, this feeling that really drives us forward, that really allows us to take risks and to take massive action. And, when you get that feeling in your stomach, or you get those butterflies, or you get like those heart palpitations, or you're nervous, I mean, really, it's about knowing that you're alive, that you're living. And sometimes, yes, we do want to calculate the risk when we make a decision. Is it really an intuitive no? Or am I really not leaning, stepping out of my comfort zone so that I can really start to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life? So I'm going to start to share with you some tools about what I've used and I continue to use in my clients as well. And hopefully you'll find, and I encourage you to maybe try them after this broadcast and let me know how you do with them. So just speaking about my personal experience. Hi, Paul. As some of you may know, I moved my life from LA to London, and this was huge for me. This was absolutely huge for me. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I went to school in Los Angeles. I worked in Los Angeles. I never really lived outside of LA except for a stint I did in university when I lived in Shanghai. And, my parents are very risk adverse. Asian American, my mother Asian American, my father immigrated from the Philippines, and very risk adverse. And when I had graduated from university and I was doing the corporate job and I had my entrepreneur career and I was checking off my list and doing all the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing, and by someone else's definition of happiness, there was just something inside of me that really felt unsettled. Like there had to be more to life. I just really didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel happy. And at the end of the day, I was really stressed. I had all the things that that look great and happy on the outside. I had the luxurious car. I owned my condo. I went to amazing hotels and trips and restaurants and did all of that. But realized that that wasn't for me. And fortunately, I found that, I experienced that very young in my life. I was 25 at the time. And just to say right here and now, I met my husband online. And this was way back when, before Skype. This is before Facebook. I mean, this is old school. This is like when you had, hi Zoe, this is when you had the video cam on your desktop, and this is before smartphones. And I remember having a long distance relationship and everyone having their opinions about it, and just realizing that, what is the life that I want to live? How do I feel in this moment? What do I want to feel in my life right now? What do I want to bring into my life? And I remember when, I'm just going to kind of fast forward, he had proposed, and the bigger question was not, am I going to marry this guy, but was, okay, who's going to do the big move? Is he going to move to LA, or am I going to move to London? Hi, Erin. And there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of fear, so much so that I got shingles. And I don't know if any of you guys are very familiar with shingles, but it's, you get these hives on your body, and it comes from stress. And I remember being really stressed out about the situation. Hi, Judy. And not really feeling comfortable, starting to feel comfortable about my decision. And then I really just had to bring my awareness back to, okay, why did I even put myself in this situation? Why, how did I even get here? Here I am dating this man from across the pond, and now we're engaged, and now I'm asking myself, am I going to move my life, or is he going to move his life? And I just remember that, if I really want to, once you tap into the life and the feeling that you want to cultivate, really about bringing that experience and not caring about anyone else's experience and what anybody else says. Because if you really want to have something beautiful and serious in your life, then you have to really take yourself seriously as well. And so it's interesting because when I moved my life to London, a whole lot of stuff came up for me, obviously, and fear-based and stress, and I eventually had worked through that. And then fast forward, when I moved my life from London to Barcelona, it was a whole nother experience for me, because that was really inspired by my father, who was on hospice care, and I was visiting every month from London to Los Angeles for 8 months. And it was one trip where I saw him and I realized, you know what, I don't want to live a life of regrets. I don't want to live in fear and think, life is great here in London. We have the house, the kids have their school, we have our friends, we have the car. Like, do I really want to go to a foreign country? Do I really feel like I want to learn a new language and move my life? And I remember my decision was based completely in love and out of fear. And I'd like to read you, before I go into the other tips on how you too can lean into your fear and into your faith and into a fulfilling life. I'd like to share with you an excerpt that I read. If some of you are familiar with this book, Conversations with God, it's by Neil Donald Walsh. It's actually a book that was recommended by one of my healers to give to my father. And my father was unable to read. And I remember by his dying bedside, I was reading this book to him. And so this was an excerpt that was really struck a chord with me, and now I live my life based completely on this. And so he shares that every action taken by human beings is based in love or fear. Fear is the energy which contracts, closes down, draws in, runs, hides, hoards, harms. Love is the energy which expands, opens up, sends out, stays, reveals, shares, heals. Fear wraps our bodies in clothing. Love allows us to stand naked. Fear clings to and clutches all that we have. Love gives all that we have away. Fear holds close. Love holds dear. Fear grasps. Love lets go. Fear rankles. Love soothes. Fear attacks. Love amends. Every human thought, word, or deed is based in one emotion or the other. You have no choice about this because there is nothing else from which to choose, but you have free choice about which of these to select. So again, that was just an excerpt from Conversations with God, a book that I read by my father's dying bedside, and was very much the inspiration that brought me and made that decision with my husband to move from London to Barcelona. Hi David, hi Auntie Christine. So if you're joining me, feel free to type in the comment section where you're joining us from. Feel free to send some hearts and some thumbs up just so I know that you can hear and see me okay. So again, I was just sharing some of the inspiration that I drew from through my personal experience to get me through some challenging times, to get me through some decisions, whether it was based on an intuitive no, or was it really just a fear of me not wanting to step out of my comfort zone. So I'd like to share with you, if for any of you that are skiers out there, I know I'm in Europe, but no, there's a lot of skiers out there, some of you in California. I'd like to share, for those of you that are familiar with skiing, it's a beautiful metaphor for fear. If you can remember, maybe for some of you that was a long time ago because you were 3 or 4 years old. For me, I was a late bloomer. So my first time on skis, I think I was like 20 or 21, super late bloomer, at least according to European standards. And if you remember, or if you don't know skating, and I'll just kind of explain to you this metaphor, is that when you're going down the slope, you have this fear that you're going to fall, that you're going to fall and lose control and go super, super fast, which you do go super fast. But at first try, you have a tendency to go go against the slope, so that you don't gain any speed and that you don't go down, which in fact that just makes you go away from your skis. When counterintuitively, you really need to lean forward. You need to lean forward into the slope, into the fear of going down the mountain. And I just remember this when I heard this one time before, and I experience it still sometimes to this day on the slope. Hi Carol, hi Maxine. It's so true. When we experience some type of fear or anxiety around a decision that we have to make in our life, it really is an opportunity for us to grow. It's really an opportunity for us to move out of our normal limits, to move and step out of our comfort zone into a place and a space that sure, it might be completely foreign to us, but that's life. That's growing and experiencing just how beautiful the world and everything and all the different cultures and everything just has to offer. And so I just invite you to think about the excerpt that I shared about love and fear, and really feel into if you have a moment where you're feeling triggered by fear, just to have a physical test and to really tune in and to ask yourself, is this really an intuitive no, or is it just me being scared and fearful of stepping out of my comfort zone? And so one of the things that you can do when that arises is, and I'm just going to demonstrate that for you right now, is to become present, to really become present with where you are in your body, and just maybe close your eyes. Place your right hand over your heart center, which is your spiritual heart, the space between your chest. Place your left hand over your lower belly and really just become present. Just taking a few deep breaths, inhale through the nose and then open your mouth, exhale. Just do a few more just like that, really just to release any tension from the fear and whatever's triggering you. And then as you're sitting there, I invite you to ask yourself, what is the cost of me not doing this? Again, the question to ask yourself as you're sitting here present in stillness with your eyes closed is, what is the cost of me not doing this? And then once that comes forward to you, and just really let anything come forward without any judgment or any attachment, next ask yourself, what will I receive if I do this? Again, ask yourself, what will I receive if I do this? And just let anything come forward. Try not to give yourself a time limit. Again, no judgment, no attachment. And then once you come out of that, I encourage you to write it down. Write everything down that came to you during that visualization, and keep that with you, and just reflect on it. Because sometimes when we make a decision, when we're fearful, it's based on the stress and the anxiousness, and that really comes from a place of worried about maybe something that happened to us in the past and we think it's going to happen to us again, or worried about something that will happen in the future when really we have no idea what's going to happen. Hi, Karina. And really it's about becoming present with how you're feeling, how you are feeling, and then really tune into those two questions. Again, what is the cost of me not doing this? And what will I receive if I do this? And I'm sorry if you hear a bit of construction, guys. I just gave a little bit of forewarning at the earlier part of the broadcast. We're doing a bit of construction. Sometimes you can hear it, sometimes you can't. So just give me a thumbs up and a heart if you can still hear me okay. Otherwise, I'll try to maybe move to another part of my flat. So again, I encourage you to do this simple exercise if ever you're feeling fearful. Another few things that I invite you to try is really to think positively. You know, you may have heard this before, it's all about positive thoughts, but really it is. When I heard this statistic, I was like actually speechless, that we have up to 50,000 thoughts per day, each of us. And so it's really about bringing yourself into a positive vibration. You know, everything, even ourselves, we have an energetic vibration. Thoughts carry an energetic vibration. Our words carry an energetic vibration. So if we can think positively, that will really help to shift the subconscious mind, which really is really holds power over our actions. So another thing I encourage you to do is to think positively. The third thing is to wake up in peace. And I know for some people this may be hard to do because you're really stuck to your phones, but one of the practices that I've been doing for the past, I think, couple years is that I wake up in peace. I wake up, my phone is on airplane mode from my sleep, and I don't switch it on until about an hour and a half or 2 hours after I've woken up. And really, this is just a great practice because, you know, we're so consumed with technology and stress and our to-do list and all the news that is out there that's riding on fear, that if you start your day waking up in this vibration, it will carry you through the day. Hi, Rebecca. So if you start your day and wake up in peace and give yourself that sacred time and space to just be with yourself and be with your thoughts, then that has the power to overflow into the rest of your day. So thinking positively will have the power to overflow into your day, and being in peace will have the power to overflow into your day. And all these things, being positive and being peaceful, will really help you when you're trying to, you know, shift out of that feeling of being fear, and really start to tune into your own intuition about what to do when you're faced with a certain decision in your life. Another thing that I highly encourage is meditate. And this is something that I'm sure a lot of you have heard before, but it's something I'm a big believer in, and it's something that I, you know, didn't really start practicing until probably, probably 5-6 years ago. So it's not, I don't know, relatively speaking, if that's a long practice. But again, that's why they call it a practice. You know, there's no wrong way of doing it. The only wrong way is if you don't do it. So I encourage you, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, just sit in silence. I really encourage, maybe have a special corner in your house. Maybe have an altar, light some incense and a candle. And just, even if it's for 5 minutes, set your timer on your smartphone, and maybe, who knows, you'll want to do more than 5 minutes as you continue your practice. And this is really just a time to really start to silence that mind clutter, to really start to bring clarity into your thoughts and into your day as you tune into your intuition and allow yourself to start your day in peace, positively, and in a bit of silence before you start your day. Another thing that I encourage is a practice of gratitude. Now, this is something that maybe you've heard of as well. This is a practice that I started probably, that was 2014, I think it was. So it's been 3 years now. And a practice of gratitude really is a very powerful practice. And, you know, when you're in this when you're in this vibration of positivity, where you're just grateful and thankful for every little thing to every big thing in your life, this has the power to to increase the positivity and the abundance into your life. So one of the things that I do, and I'll just share that with you personally, is when I wake up, literally, as my feet hit the floor, I silently say to myself, thank you. And then I keep walking, thank you for today, thank you for today. And that's just something I wake up, and it's become second nature that I do right when I wake up. And just really realizing that it's a new day, and it's such a blessing to be in this body, to have this human experience, and to have the new day ahead of us, and just to wake up in that vibration again of positivity and gratitude has exponential effects on, throughout the rest of your day, and being able to shift out of that mindset of fear. And then, of course, the thing that I had mentioned before about breathing, that's another thing that I encourage you to try as well. So, again, if you've just joined us, feel free to say hi and let me know in the comment section where you are joining us from. Send me some thumbs up and hearts, and make sure that you can hear me, see me okay. And feel free to ask any questions you have in the comment section, and I will make sure to answer them during the broadcast. So, that's just a little bit about, my experience, my personal experience, some of the tips and tools that I've used personally, as well as I use with my coaching clients. And, it's really, again, and I mentioned this, I might have mentioned this in my broadcast last week, but it's about accepting that fear is normal, just like stress. Stress is normal. It's absolutely normal. It's part of the human experience. So it's really about asking yourself, how can I shift out of this? Or what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this experience? Always ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? And so going back to the excerpt that I shared, hi Jimmy, the excerpt that I shared from the book Conversations with God, and that every human action is based on two emotions, love or fear. And so, my encouragement to all of you that are watching with me live, and for those that will be watching this post live, is that you really live a life in love. And that maybe it's not so much about living your life out of fear, but leaning into your fear and really living a life in love for who you are, a love for where you've come from, how far you've come, a love for what it is, who it is you want to be, what you want to be, and how you want to feel. And it's really, again, this is really about your intuition and having that physical test and with yourself about what's true for you. What is love for you? And what do you fear? Everyone's experience will be different, but really it's about becoming present, being able to tune out all that clutter and everyone else's opinion and all the other fear-based news and everything else that's out there in the world, and coming right back to you, to your essence, and what would bring you joy, again, asking yourself, those type of questions when you sit in meditation. What would bring me joy? What would bring me happiness? How would that feel? How would that look? And think about where you might be and the people you're with. And, once you start to really feel into that vibration of love and expansion and really being open, then there really is no fear, because you'll soon realize, or all relative, hi Karen, that yes, it's normal fear, but it's a necessary to have, to take massive action. Because if we don't have it, if we don't feel that element of fear, then maybe we're just living a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not normal, but it's on the tip of my tongue. But normal, but not very, it'll come to me, life. And that's what I mean by leaning into your fear, into your faith, and living a fulfilling life. And so, again, if you're joining us, if there's any questions that come to you during this broadcast, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. Say hi, let me know where you're joining us from, or some hearts and thumbs up if you can hear and see me okay. And so really that's what I really wanted to share with you this week. This is something that is very, very personal to me. I know some of my friends that have known me, hi Magnus, that have known me back in LA, and probably some of my family can attest to this. I'm known as a bit of a risk taker. You know, I'm the only one in my family that has moved and lived out of country and has done a lot of traveling and done things that are very non-risk adverse compared to, I think, the environment that I was raised in. And so, you know, I hope that from this broadcast you are inspired, encouraged to also start to step out of your normal limits, to start to step out of your comfort zone and lean into your fear, lean into your faith, and trust that the universe has your back, and trust that everything that is happening is for the highest good, and that you do know, you have the answer. But it's really about tuning into your own inner guidance, your own intuition, and trusting that. So that's what I have to share today. I do have one last announcement, and it's probably something that I've had to step out of my own normal limits and in my own comfort zone. But I'm announcing right now on Facebook Live that I will be facilitating an incredible retreat in Ibiza this June 24th to June 29th. I know originally I had scheduled this annual retreat in Ibiza in May, but it's come as an opportunity for me that I would be able to serve more people if I did it in June. So I've moved my dates. It's actually a different, not just different dates, but a different location as well. All the information will be up on my website at lesliesaglio.com. But I wanted to share with you folks that information just as it's come up. Again, that's Saturday, June 24th to Thursday, June 29th. And Ibiza, I don't know if any of you are familiar with this island. It's very much an island that's near and dear to my heart. I've been there, I think I've lost count, but maybe 9 times since the past 11 years. And it's really such a special place, really a place of healing, of growth, of transformation. And as soon as you step on this island, you just feel free. You feel like you can really just be yourself and relax. So I encourage you, if there's something that you feel like you've been wanting to heal for a long time, or you just feel like it's been so long since you've had some me time, that you've nourished yourself, nourished your soul and your spirit and your body, then I encourage you to join me on this very special, magical retreat in Ibiza. So for those of you, I'm just going to scroll down and see. Hi, Jerry. And someone has asked a question. Okay. So it's either Nestor or Christina. I'm not sure which one because you guys have the same account. How to overcome depression or going through despair when circumstances happen. Okay, how to or going through despair when circumstances happen. So again, and maybe you can just give me a little bit more insight on if there's something in particular, or is it more just in general? And you can just type that in the comment section below. But again, hi Lara. What I would say to that is to continue to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? So going back to if you have despair or if you have depression, a lot of that, can be helped with some of the practices that I shared, where, continuing to think positive, to wake up in peace, to have a gratitude practice, to continue to breathe, to be present and listen to your intuition. A lot of the anxiety, stress, depression, and despair comes from, it can come from a multitude of things. I'm not a doctor, and again, I don't really know what's the specific situation, and we're just talking in broad strokes here. But it's sometimes, worrying too much about the past or worrying too much about the future, and not really being present with what's true for you and how you feel in this very moment, and to act from that place of presence. So I'm not sure if that's hopefully answered your question. I did, mention some tools earlier in the broadcast. Some other things that you can do that I personally do and recommend what I do with clients is release writing. I don't know if any of you are familiar with release writing. It's very different than journaling. So release writing is, again, how I was talking about, everything is made up of energy. We're made up of energy. Everything has an energetic vibration, the entire earth, everything from the chair you sit on to, everything. So really getting those emotions, which is energy in motion, getting those emotions up and out. A lot of the time we suppress those emotions, right? And traditional Chinese medicine believes that emotions are neither good nor bad, and that they're simply an expression of energy, of qi, that the Chinese call it, or prana, that the Indians had called it. And so really allowing that to release up and out. So one of the things that I invite you to do is to try release writing. And what you do is you just set your timer for 10 minutes, and pen to paper, just write down without any editing, okay, without picking up your pen, just an entire stream of consciousness. Just write whatever you're thinking. And it could be what I ate today, how I felt, who I saw yesterday, and then everything starts to come out. And you just write, keep writing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to rip it up and you're going to burn it. And this is important to note because, sometimes when we're writing things down, we think, oh, I'm going to edit this because someone might read this. So I'm not going to be completely honest or truthful because who knows who's going to pick this up and read this. And so we tend to edit it. But knowing that it's not going to be, it's not going to exist anymore will help you to really bring out and release those emotions that you're suppressing. And so just release, rip it up, burn it. Of course, burn it in something that is fireproof, so either a pan or an abalone shell I use. And then after you do that, then I encourage you to journal. And this is something that you're going to keep. And before you put your pen to paper and you're going to journal, I encourage you to sit down, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, really become present, and then ask yourself, what is my heart trying to tell me right now? What needs to come forward in this moment? And just ask yourself, or any variation of that, however that resonates for you, and feel into that, and then write it down. And so I just encourage you to try this. I don't know if you're still online, Nesty and Christina, but try this exercise and let me know how you get on. It's something that I encourage to do at night, maybe if you can't sleep, but no restrictions. You can try it any time of the day. And let me know how you get on. And really it's about releasing those suppressed emotions, and as well as becoming present with how you feel right now, how you are in your body right now, and to act from that place of presence. So hopefully that answered your question. If anyone else has any questions about what I've said so far or something that I didn't address, then feel free to type that in the comment section below. And I can answer that on the live broadcast. So just to remind you, this is part 2 of a series of 4 that I'm doing called I'm Paying It Forward, which is very much, or actually completely inspired by a family friend that passed away a few weeks ago that was very instrumental to me being able to do the work that I'm doing today and be of service in this world. And I just really wanted to honor her life and her legacy, and I feel blessed. I feel blessed that I had her in my life, and I'm able to do what I'm doing today. And so it's an honor for me to share some of the tools and tips and practices that I've had the honor of learning from some of the top teachers, healers, and coaches in this world for the past 10 years. And so hopefully that answered some of your questions. I'd love for you to share with me, either continue to comment in the comments box in this Facebook Live, or send me a private message, or email me at leslie@lesliesaglio.com, and let me know how you get on with these practices, and hopefully, that will help you to start to shift your mindset and shift your perspective so that you can start to lean into your fear, to lean into your faith, and to live a fulfilling life. And I just invite you to remember that it's about progress, not perfection, right? And we all have our journey, and just really trusting your own journey and trusting your process, and really I encourage you not to compare to where other people are in their lives or in their journey, because where you are, just trust that that's for the highest good, and you're exactly where you need to be. So that's it for my Facebook Live this Friday. Next week I will be broadcasting back to my usual time of 6 p.m. Central European Time. And feel free. Hi Christina. So I will be back part 3 of 4 next week. And I wish you all a beautiful and blessed weekend. Enjoy this beautiful spring season that's coming upon us, and really just embrace the light and new energy that's coming into your life during this time. It's said that the 3 days before, the day of, and the 3 days after the equinox and solstices are the most powerful times. So it's really a beautiful time to harness this energy. So I encourage you to do your own little ceremony that maybe you have about setting your intentions, setting your intentions and manifesting your dreams for the next 3 months. So have a beautiful weekend, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. And don't forget, I have my Ibiza retreat in June coming up, and that will be going live on my website this weekend, and I hope you'll join me. And thanks for joining, and you're welcome, Nestor and Christina, and have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Namaste. Bye. Thank you.